What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be doing a tier list of 2 guards in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So lads, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are less than 200 away from 232k. Our initial goal was to hit that by Saturday. It's looking like we could hit it by tomorrow, which is absolutely crazy, like. And also lads, it's kind of a big day right now because we're grinding. I'm gonna have these Aaron Baines by the end of the day. So if you guys just even just for the effort, I'm grinding this game way more than I normally do. And man, it's just non-stop, lads. It's just non-stop at this stage. So yeah, we got Pop-Ev yesterday for his cool card art. We're getting Aaron Baines because, well, you know, he is obviously Aaron Baines. So if you guys could subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, now we are on to the tier list. So, to start off the tier list, we have got Ronnie Brewer. Ronnie Brewer is about C tier. An overall decent player. Not the greatest card in the world, but he's also not a bad player by any means. Like, no range extender. He's got the Curry slide, but he's also got a lot of great animations as well, like Rudy Jumper. The only problem with him is that, again, no range extender, so that is why he's probably going down here into C tier rather than being at a higher tier on the list. So, then we have got Adrian Dantley. I mean, I'm putting Adrian Dantley B tier. I don't think he's good, but I mean, you can give him badges, whereas the problem is that with Ronnie Brewer, he is an Evo player, so you can't give him any badges. I don't like Adrian Dantley. He's a free exchange reward. We haven't seen a good one of them. I mean, what's his name was okay. I mean, I can't keep forgetting his name. Connie Hawkins, he was alright, but Bob Love was good. We haven't seen any other real, like, good ones of those cards since then. So yeah, we're going to I'm gonna put him into B tier. Allen Houston, B tier. I might end up changing these. I'm not a big fan of Allen Houston. I'm really not. Like, I think he's alright, like. But there are just a lot better players in general than Houston. Like, there are better shooters than Houston. There are better guys going to the basket than Allen Houston. There are, like, faster players than Houston, better defenders. Like, I don't think he does. There's nothing he really does at the highest level. So B tier. Allen Iverson, without question, he's going B tier. Like, Iverson, you can cook with him. I mean, Iverson, like, you can score so well with Allen Iverson. Like, yeah, he's gonna leave a lot to be desired in the defensive end. But man, like, Iverson can be one of your main offensive players, and you can win a lot of games. So Iverson's going B tier. Aflalo, I think B tier is probably. I'm gonna move Dantley and Houston down. I think I don't know. Houston's as good as Aflalo. Yeah, I'll move Dantley down, but Aflalo's really good. The only problem with Aflalo is his release. If you can't get Aflalo's release down, I mean, you're gonna really struggle with the card, but that's the case with every single card. If you can't get their release down, you are going to struggle. But I like Aflalo. I really do. I think he's a great budget player. Is Adrian Dantley, like, objectively better? Maybe. But again, maybe just that I'm more used to Aflalo, I'd rather run him. But I do really like Aaron Aflalo, especially on current gen. Ben Gordon, lower A tier. He's definitely the best player we've seen so far. D-Rose based on quick, which is the same as Donald. He's kind of like a worse version of the Donald card, basically. 3-pointer, meh. Rose based on quick is good. Dribble Sigs, I mean, they're fine. They're not great, but they're not bad either. So I don't think anyone can really complain too much about them. But again, they are, like, objectively fine Dribble Sigs. As well as that, he has got he's a good dunker. He's an Oroga card. Bingo Smith, I mean, at this stage, he's worthless. When we're looking at this list, is he the second worst player on the list? He might get moved up a tier, but I mean, I have him worthless for now. Brad Beal, C tier. I don't like him. Some people do. Like, some people swear by this card. I don't really see it, though. I really don't see it. Like, I get it. Sometimes people overhype certain cards, but I don't really see why the hype is there for Bradley Beal. Because, like, he doesn't have great dribble six. His release the same as Houston. He's 6'3". Like, we can't forget that the guy is only 6'3". So he's very, very small. And I don't know. I just don't really like him. Buddy Hield. I think I forgot him in my top 100 list yesterday. Buddy Hield is incredible. Like Ben Gordon. Ben Gordon, I didn't forget him, but he was very, very close. Like, he would have been probably one of the last, like, 20 players in the list. Ben Gordon is good, though. Well, Buddy Hield, I mean, I love this card. I can't quite put him in S tier, but you don't understand how much I love Buddy Hield. I think I might have my tier, everyone one tier too high, though. So I might have to move everybody down. So I just realized I'm like, I don't want 10 players in S tier, and there are 10 two guards that are objectively better than both of these guys. So I think I might, bang, you stay up, you go down, you go down. And obviously, at this stage, Ty has already gone on his rant. Iverson. I mean, at this stage, Iverson's in worthless tier. He's not as good as these two guys in D tier. I don't like putting Iverson in a worthless tier because I think he actually can score a bit on offense, but he's going to go there. And yeah, I'm going to stick with, I think this tier looks a little bit better. Drazen Petrovic. I mean, he's slightly worse out in Houston, but he's got that half range and no steady. I like Drazen. I like his release. I think Drazen's a really good point guard. Oh, not point guard, two guard. Yeah, I'm going to give Drazen C tier. I definitely think he's better than Beal. I just hate that Beal card, so maybe I'm a little bit biased against Beal. I just hate him. So that is why Brad Beal is going to be going in there. But we have also got next Dwyane Wade. I mean, he's way better than Buddy Hield. But are there 5 or 6 players better than Dwyane Wade as two guards? And I think so. I'm going to put him A tier for now. He might get moved to S. Wade is insane. Like, Wade is absolutely insane. There is no question about that. That Wade is one of the best cards in the game, just all around. On current gen, next gen, I mean, he's a bit iffy. He's a bit iffy with that awful release, but yeah, I'm gonna keep him in A tier. This Dwyane Wade, C tier. I think. No, B tier. When he's badged up, he's B. He's not very good non-badged up. Like, when he's badged up, he's objectively fine. Like, he's not, like, the only big problem with him is that he can't play the point guard position. And that is a big problem. If anyone wants to say that it's not a big problem, trust me, it is a massive problem. But again, it's not like he's this, like, absolutely massive downgrade over the Opal. It's just that the Opal can play point guard, which is the position everyone's going to play him. If you're playing TTO and you haven't badged up, he's not going to feel that different to the Opal. So, yeah, B tier. Eddie Jones, get into B tier. A lot of people would say Eddie Jones over Buddy Hield. I'm just so high on Buddy Hield's jump shot that I'm putting him in A tier. Like, Buddy Hield might end up going down a tier. I think I might be kind of overhyped because I've been using him recently on net. And maybe he's not as good on current gen. My God, is he a god on next gen. Eddie Jones, though. Good release. Good dribbling. Half quick first step as far as I'm aware. I don't really see there's no weaknesses in Eddie Jones really in this game. There's really no weaknesses in the card. So then we've got Evan Fournier. High A tier. I think it's a hard one with Wade because if we're running him at the 2, he's better than Wade. But Wade might be the better overall card. I might move Fournier to S. I might move him to S. No, actually, I'll keep Evan Fournier down here at A tier. He's basically like a poor man's dentist. He's like a poor man's Terry Dishinger. Release not quite as good, but he's still got the Curry slide. Half clamps. I'm telling you, his defense is not as good as Terry's. It is not as good. A lot of people will be like, half clamps will make it better, but no, it really doesn't. Terry's a better defender. Then we have got Lopez B tier. You know what? The way the tiers are right now, I'm going to have to move Buddy down. Like, now the tiers look a lot better because I'm like, Lopez definitely belongs in a similar tier to Buddy. But Felipe Lopez is one of the more... He's one of the best budget players in the game. He really is. He really is. There's a reason why so many people like talk about this card highly. And he can play point guard. He's equally as good at the 2. And that's something that's a little bit different between him and like Smush Parker and Flip Murray, is that you've got Lopez, who is equally as good playing at the 2 as he is at the 1, but he's also not as good at point guard than he's not as good at the point guard position as Felipe Lopez, and I don't think it's much of a question about that. Flip Murray, who is just significantly better at the point guard position. Then we have got Petrie. Petrie's B. Petrie's B tier. Like, I can't put Jeff Petrie below Diamond Dwyane Wade because they're different types of players, but Petrie can play point guard. So the thing is with Jeff Petrie is that they all have him and Wade the same animations, but Petrie has got better. He's better in a lot of things, like shooting wise, and also again the better secondary position of point guard rather than small forward. Whereas with Dwyane Wade, he dunks better than Petrie. His defense is a little bit better than Petrie's, but he can't play point guard. So, and you also have to badge up Wade to get range, and Petrie comes with it. So I'm gonna have to put them out in the same tier. Both of them are borderline unusable on next gen. Use them on current gen. Trust me, don't use either of these guys on next gen. Jamal Crawford. I mean, fully badged, he's C, but like he costs a lot to fully badge. Like, I'd be half tempted to move him down because it's not. Is it that attainable to fully badge him? Is it really that attainable? Like, who's gonna fully badge Jamal Crawford? Then we've got James Harden, our first S tier player on the list. Harden's a beast, man. Harden is a beast. His jumper's really nice. His handle's nice. His player build is good in game. He's got the Pro 3 behind the back. Again, there are some people that are not quite as high on James Harden as other people. I mean, I've always liked James Harden in 2K. I've always liked James Harden. I've never really liked Harden in 2K, but this year's Harden he's different. Like, this kind of reminds me of Harden's of old. I don't think many people were that much of a fan of Harden in 20 at all. His pink diamond cards and his diamond cards were just so bad that no one really thought about him this year. But no, this Harden, it really is good. Curry slide, go release. Apparently he's awful on next gen. I've never used him on next gen, so I have absolutely zero idea of whether the guy's good or not on next gen, so I can't speak on it, but he's asked, no question. Then we got Stackhouse. I mean, Stackhouse is extremely underrated. I mean, he's as good as any of the guys here in C tier. So for me anyway, that's where he belongs. But if you're gonna say that he should be in a higher tier or a lower tier, you know what? I'm not going to really complain. I have not used the card enough to have that much of a judgment on him. Like, again, I've used him enough that I know he's a decent card, but stats wise and stuff, it's hard for me to put him in a higher tier or a lower tier because stats wise he's so good, and it's hard for me to put him in a higher tier because I don't think his animations are great. Joe Caldwell, I've tried using him. I was kind of high on Caldwell when he first came out. No, his ratings just aren't good enough. His stats just aren't good enough, although his animations are insane. And when we get Joe Caldwell with a 98 on quick, Curry slide and go release, you better believe we're getting mini Hondo. And then we have got Hondo, one of the most obvious inclusions here in S tier. I'm personally convinced that Hondo is the best offensive player in the game, and I don't think it's particularly close. And to be fair, like, most people, that it depends on what your offensive style is. That is, like, if your offensive style is 3 hunting, Hondo's number 1, and there is no close second to John Havlicek. Maybe Luka. Maybe Luka's actually a close second to Hondo because he got X and base. But no, Hondo's one of a kind. Base 98 on quick, Curry slide, current gen better than next gen. He's a beast. J.R. Smith, B tier, and the other J.R. B tier as well. They're the same card. So both of those guys are going into the old B tier right here. Both good players. Again, there's just something about JR that I really liked him when he first came out, but as time has gone on, I'm like less of a fan of J.R. Smith cards in this game. His release, maybe it's just because I prefer his release on Kevin Porter Jr. Maybe it's because I really prefer his release on KPJ that I've started to like be less high on JR, but I'm gonna put him B tier. Kawhi Leonard, S tier. maybe the number 1-2 guard in the game. Again, like, he's not a flawless card. On current gen, he got steady. That's kind of... Is that his own... That's his only flaw, really. But the thing about having Hop steady on current gen, the dude has Hop blinders on next gen. He's arguably the best card in the game on next gen. Like, I think he's the best 2 guard in the game on next gen. He's better than Hondo. I think did I have him at like number 7 on my top 100 list? I think I might have underrated him. There's just so many good players in the game. But yeah, so we have got Kawhi Leonard here at S tier, and I don't think anyone is going to argue that. I don't think anyone's going to argue my 3 S tier players. Maybe someone will argue Harden, but I don't think anyone will argue these guys. KPJ, I'm so high on this card. Could I be too high on him? Maybe. But if you guys know my love of lefty releases, you guys will know why I'm so high on Kevin Porter Jr. KPJ is a absolute sniper. He is a sniper. The guy barely misses for me. Curry slide. He's like, imagine if you gave J.R. Smith the Curry slide and made him a lefty. I know the left and right-handed releases doesn't make a difference for most people. It makes a difference for me. It makes a difference for me. Stats-wise, he's not quite as good as J.R. Smith. However, he's got more total gold or higher badges. Although, well, just gold badges. Because he, unfortunately, does not have any Hop badges. But he got every key badge in gold. And again, he is one of the... he's one of those incredibly good Ruby cards in-game that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on when they come up against him in Unlimited. Like, he's a guy that should strike fear into you if he's being used in the right hands, because a good release, Curry slide, insane dunking, more than good enough defense, he should strike fear. This Klay Thompson, D tier. At this stage in the year, yeah, no, he's D. He's D. I liked him. I really did like Klay, and he had a time. He really did have a time, but he is D tier for now. So now we're going to go and fill out the bottom tiers. Let's get some of the bad guys in. And Manu, if Iverson's worthless, Manu's worthless. If Iverson is worthless, Michael Cooper is worthless. Michael Cooper can still play a bit of defense. He's got base 28, which is pretty great off the catch on current gen. It's awful next gen, by the way. It's the Mark Price release, basically. And it's really solid off the catch. It's a little bit slow right now, but he'll hit shots. Manu is Manu. I that awful Manu base, and he's like a million times worse version of a Flalo. Yeah, I think 2K really dropped the ball with Manu this year. Remember at the start of the year when they released their dev blog and said that Manu's Pink Diamond card was going to be a game changer? Yeah, they really dropped the ball with Manu this year. People were so excited to use him. My God, is he worthless. Look at the rest of these cards. Are any of these belong in low tiers? Walter Davis, I mean, he's as good as Crawford. Norman Powell. I like Norman Powell, but he's objectively D. I don't think many people are going to argue that he's not like objectively D tier, because I don't think I can argue he's better than Bradley Beal, because he's not better than Bradley Beal. Actually, you know what? No range extender. Ronnie, as much as I like Ronnie Brewer, you're going down a tier as well. Actually, Beal go up, Drazen go down. Beal's better than Drazen. Beal's better than Drazen. I was definitely being too harsh on Beal. And you know what? Dantley, you go up as well. Dantley, you go up a tier as well. I was being too harsh on those guys to start. Normally, I'm like too generous on people to start a tier list, and I was like, no, I'm way too harsh on these guys. Nick Anderson is definitely one of these lower tiers. Only bronze clamps at this stage. I mean, worthless, unfortunately. Like, the fact is that like, Joe Harris is way better. Wesley Matthews is like a worse Norman Powell. Oh, that's kind of an unfortunate one. I don't know if I feel right putting those guys in worthless because they're usable and limited. Actually, I'm going to change this name to worthless outside. What the hell's going on? Worthless outside Worthless outside limited. There we go. We got our actual tier name. It's now worthless outside of limited. Are any of these guys in lower tiers? A lot of people argue T-Ross, but when you put claps on the guy and you give him half, because he has half blinders and he's on next gen with a good release, I think T-Ross is C tier. And I've been like, you'll see it if you follow me on Twitter, I've been like grinding TTO while making this video, and I've just gotten 3 diamond consumables in a row, which is the weirdest thing ever. Or TT offline. Then we have got, who else is a low tier? I mean, Mitch Richmond's C tier. Mitch Richmond is objectively C tier. Ruby Kobe, B tier. Kobe, A tier. Yeah, Kobe's A tier. Kobe's on the lower end of A tier, definitely. But I think he is A tier. Kobe's good. Like, he's kind of underrated. He's definitely on the lower end of the top 10 2 guards, but he is still very, very solid. The Kobe and KPJ debate, like, I understand why most people would say that Kobe's better. I really do, because he's way better on defense. I just think offensively KPJ is significantly, significantly better, which for me is a kind of big, big factor. So then we have got Klay Thompson, A or S. I'm going to put 5 in S. I'm going to put Klay Thompson in A. Klay is a elite shooter. Like, his jumper is insane. The thing is, I was very, very, like, I was way too harsh when I was doing, like, my best players tier list on Klay. I was very, very harsh. And the reason I was so harsh on Klay was because he can't really create his own shot, and he can't really be the, like, main man in your team. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's getting Klay Thompson to do that. I don't think anyone should be getting Klay Thompson anyway. Let me just say that as a first point, is that it is one of the dumbest decisions you will ever make, locking in for Klay Thompson, because, man, the guy is I was going to say the guy's a garbage man, but he's not. He's one of the worst value players in MyTEAM history, but he's good. So, yeah, Klay. I mean, if I wanted to have more than 5 in S, then Klay would be an S tier. Problem is, I'm only going to put 5 in S, and I think Klay might be the number 6. Malik Sili, he's S. He is S. And there is no question about it, Malik Sili is S. This guy right here, on current gen, give me him over Kawhi. 6'8". He's got Kawhi, basically the Kawhi Leonard release, a slightly different upper, Curry slide, Pro 5 behind the back, Hall of Fame clamps. Gold range is the only problem with this card. But like, if he had, like, gold range is still fine. Like, yes, he would rather half range. You know what? We all would rather half range on a card rather than gold range. That's literally the only problem with Malik Sili. I think there's a few shooting badges he doesn't have, but man, the guy is a demon. The guy is absolutely top tier. And even in a tier with Klay Thompson, apparently he's 30k. I paid like 50k for my one, and I thought he was going to go up. He is this season's Rudy Fernandez. And by Rudy Fernandez, I mean, like, this like 50k card that is as good as a card that's million MT. Like, yeah, obviously, as season 4 went on, we got better and better players. But like, he is that like 30k card that you can argue is probably a top 10 card in the game. Just like Rudy Fernandez was at the time when he came out. He is the season 5 version of a Rudy Fernandez. And man, he's going to be usable endgame. I'm not going to say he's going to be good endgame, because I really don't think he will be. I don't think you're going to be seeing many people out here running Pink Diamond Malik Sili when they're playing in endgame tournaments or anything. I really don't think you're going to be seeing, to be fair, I don't think you're going to be seeing people running Pink Diamonds, period. But like, at a 95 overall, when you're comparing to the best 95s last year, people were still using Cam Reddish at the end of the year. People were still using Robert Covington a little bit at the end of the year. And I still think to this, if people know what they're doing, I still think you will see Malik Sili being ran in July. Maybe not a lot, but I still think he will be ran in July. Then we got Michael Jordan, A tier. MJ, he's a beast. He's a beast. His layup package is not only iffy, it's awful. Like, his layup package is a big problem. So if he triggers layups, I mean, you might struggle with him if he starts triggering layups. But other than that, though, his dunks are insane, his defense is insane, his dribbling's insane. Michael Jordan in general is just incredible, but he's not quite top 5. Then we have got Flip Murray. Not Flip Murray top of B tier. It's like, because he's not the greatest at the 2 guard position itself. He's not as good as Wade. If we're looking at point guards, he's just not as good as Wade, who's in that tier above. but he's better than Felipe Lopez. I reckon he's definitely like high in B tier. He's one of the higher players in this B tier right here. Then we got Mr. Rudy Fernandez himself. Hey, he's better than all the guys in B tier. He's definitely better than all the guys. Is he kind of outclassed right now? Do many people still use him? No. Like, he's 15k though. Like, there's not that many better value cards in the game right now. Like, he has been consistently in the top 10 best value players in my team from the day he was released. Like, he has dropped, every time he's dropped in price, it has always been to a price that he's insanely good value. He's like, imagine a completely juiced Eddie. Imagine a way better Eddie Jones. It's basically the same price. That's what you're getting with Rudy Fernandez. Pro 3 behind the back, gold range extender, Steph Curry release on quick. Like, is there anything wrong with this card? Like, is there a flaw? I'm not sure. I don't think he's got steady. He might have steady, but you know what? Blinders on next gen, if he does. There's a reason why you saw him in a couple of 250 squads. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's better than Flip Murray. A tier. 6'5", good wingspan. He's kind of been overlooked. He has these moments card, but he's really good. He's really, really good. Good shooter. Good ball handle. Good dunk. Decent dunker. Great defender. Yeah, he's probably in the lower end of A tier, but he's A tier. This Zach Levine. See? He's like I was about to say, I was like, actually, no. What am I talking about? He's B. This Zach Levine is B tier. Like, there's just no question. He doesn't play great defense, but he's still as good as Rudy Fernandez on offense. You can argue he's better than Rudy Fernandez. You can argue he's one of the best in B. I don't know why I was putting him in C tier. He's insane. Then we have got Tracy McGrady, S tier. T-Mac, unbelievable shooter, unbelievable ball handler, unbelievable defender. He's got everything except the Curry slide, but apart from that, he's got the Pro 1 escape. He's got one of the best uppers in the game in Kobe upper. Trey Burke base. T-Mac is insane. I cannot wait until 2K gives us like a diamond or pink diamond not LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan. Because like, I know we're not going to get a great cheap T-Mac in game because his name is too big, but you know what? I want either a Bailey Howell or a DeMar DeRozan because they're Tracy or a Brandon. Actually, no, Brandon Roy is too hyped to name. So what I want to see is, please, just at some stage give us a 95 overall, just like he's doing Malik Sili and Kawhi Leonard. The way you just kind of nerfed Malik Sili a little bit to make him a lower overall. Do what you did to Kawhi Leonard and Malik Sili by just giving us a DeMar DeRozan instead of Tracy McGrady, and they're basically the same card. Then we have got Zach Levine. Offensively, S. Defensively, like B. So he's like a better version of the other Zach Levine. He's got like half range. He's as good offensively, maybe better offensively than T-Mac. He just doesn't quite play the defense. And he is definitely one of the higher overall players on A tier. So yeah, this is the tier list. We have got Harden, Havlicek, Kawhi, Sili, and Tracy McGrady in S tier. I think most people will say Havlicek, Kawhi, Sili, T-Mac as their top 4. I think most people will have that as their top 4. I have Harden in there, mainly because he can play the point guard, but if you want to argue Jordan, Clay, Levine, honestly, instead of James Harden, I don't think I can say objectively you're wrong. I think Harden's kind of Harden is one of those players that you can see in a lot, like you're going to see in a lot of, somewhere actually between like 5 and 10 in 2 guards. I just have him at number 5. I don't think Dwyane Wade belongs in A tier. Or in B tier. Or sorry, not B tier. S tier. I think A tier is fine for him. I'm trying to think who else is kind of controversial choice. Kevin Porter Jr. is a controversial choice. If you've used him on next gen, you will know why I have him in A tier. I don't know what he's like in current gen. He's probably not as good on current gen, so I have not used this guy in next gen, so I have no idea. So apologies if he's a bomb on current gen. He's a tier higher than Buddy Hield, Flip Murray, and Zach Levine. This Kobe, you gotta badge him up, but he's insane. I'm trying to think who else could be in a controversial tier. I moved Bradley Beal and Adrian Dantley up. I think that's a bit fair. I mean, Clay, Drazen's just better than Clay. So I think Drazen's better than Jamal Crawford. No, I'll keep Drazen down. I really like Drazen though. Norman Powell, as much as I like Norman Powell, I think I'm gonna have to put him in D tier. The other guys are just that little bit better. And then the worthless outside of limited tier. I mean, yeah, at this stage there are so many better budget Ruby guys to run to 2 and 3. There's actually no point using Nick Anderson or Wes Matthews anymore unless you are playing limited. Bingo Smith, I mean, borderline worthless. Allen Iverson, he can score a bit on offense, is a worthless defender. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So that is the video. This is my 2 guys tier list. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.